how the Children's Aid Society has helped you.
Okay. Well, during the adoption process, one of the things they offered that helped the most was a 9-week parenting class called PRIDE, Pride. And you do that before you're placed with children, and it just gives you a really good idea of what to expect of the children, what kind of children are in care, what kind of issues can come up for them. So that was really good before the kids came. And then afterwards, they also offer a post-adoption support group that we participate in, and that's been very helpful because it's run by a post-adoption support worker, so she's very knowledgeable. And it's all adoptive families, which is nice because they could be going through some of the same things you're going through. So that's really good. And then lastly, our caseworker for our adoption, we just happened to have a very good connection with him, and that was another positive way they helped us, because we always felt that we could approach him with questions or ask him about any help we might need.
All right.
Just let me know if you need me to repeat anything or if I'm talking too quickly.
No, it's okay, because we're recording it anyway, so it's fine by us.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Yeah. So would you recommend CAS to any family who is in need?
I would, yeah. They're a good resource. Their ultimate goal is to keep families together. So a lot of people are too afraid to contact them because they think that all they do is take children away, and that's not true. They offer a lot of different types of support for families. So yeah, they've been very helpful to us.
Okay, so before you went ahead to adopt, this is the second question now.
Sure.
What was your major concern about adopting children?
Our main concern, we were open to anything. So basically, most issues that these kids typically have, we were open to, with the exception of a couple. But I guess the only thing that scared us beforehand was attachment issues, because we were open to taking a child 0 to 5 years of age, and so we were worried about the older the child, the harder it would be for them to attach.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would say that we said yes to basically every special need, and we did research what all of those meant before agreeing to it. But it was still a little, each child is different, so there was a little bit of uncertainty as to what that would actually mean for our children.
Okay. And how many children do you have now?
3.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And do you have any concern afterwards? Have you had any concern afterwards?
Yeah. We've had our first adoption was in November 2009, and our daughter was almost 3, and our son was 7 months old at the time. And I would say that our daughter has quite a lot of special needs and attachment issues, and as much as you read about it before, it's very different when it's actually happening to you, which is why we are so thankful that there are those supports. So that's our biggest struggle, is keeping on top of her special needs and trying to get her all the services that she needs, and just try to continue to make her happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we know that because we did speak to Ferdinand.
Yes.
And we know that the process could be very long and emotionally draining.
Yes, it's true.
So what kept you going on? What was that factor that just kept you hanging in there?
We just kept knowing that when it happened, it was because it would be the right fit. And that if it wasn't happening sooner, it's because the kids that were meant to be ours weren't ready for us yet. And holidays would be kind of hard. Every holiday that came up, you'd think, okay, maybe this time I'm going to have the child. But we would just tell ourselves that because we were open to 0 to 5, one of our kids might actually be born and be out there, and we just need to wait for that connection. And that's exactly what happened, because our daughter was actually, we started in May 2008. She was born in February 2007. So she was already out there, just waiting for the right fit. So we just kept reassuring ourselves that when it was right, it would happen.
All right.
Yeah. And then I'll just tell you guys, just for fun, then we had our little surprise. We thought we were done. And then at Christmas time, 2011, we found out about little Noah, who's their half-brother, and just couldn't say no to his cute little face. So that's how we ended up with a third. But that was definitely not part of our first adoption. Was meticulously planned out, and this was just a surprise for us. But he was meant to be with his brother and sister, so we're so happy it turned out that way. He's in the background, so you'll probably hear him on the recording.
Yeah, we can all hear him.
Yeah.
And how long was the waiting period for your first child? How long did you wait?
It took 18 months total to get our first two, because we got them together.
Oh,
so
you got
18
them
months.
together.
18 months from start to finish, and we got the two first ones together.
Okay, and then finally, our last question is, we know some of them are still young and they might not understand adoption or whatever, but would you be open to your child about adoption?
Absolutely. So our daughter was aware. She didn't understand fully what was happening, but she was definitely aware that she was being taken from her foster home when she was almost 3. And so she knows, because of her age, she's very aware that she lives somewhere else and that we took her from that place. So even without that, though, we would be open to it. So we attend adoption events so that our children can see and be in contact with other kids that are adopted, so they know they're not alone. And when we adopted our third child, we made sure that our older two were very, very involved in the process. They would actually come to the foster home to visit him. They came on the day that we brought him home, so that they could sort of begin to understand their own process more. They don't really understand what birth parents mean yet, but we're very open. But you just have to be careful that the information you're sharing with them is very age appropriate. So that we're just cautious with that.
Okay.
But they're very proud. They're very proud to be adopted.
She's very professional.
Okay. They said you're very professional with your words.
Oh, thanks.
And someone wants to know if you paid any fee.
No, there's no fee when you adopt through Children's Aid. Some doctors do charge a medical fee of up to $100 because it's quite an extensive form that they need to fill out for you for your process. But our doctors waived the fee because they were so excited. Okay. But that's really the only fee that I've heard of. But that's with Children's Aid adoption. With the other kinds of adoption, it can be really, really expensive.
Okay, so if you want to give a shout out to the whole class that would listen to you, what would you say to them?
Oh, well, I'm an advocate for public adoption now through Children's Aid, and we do a lot of speaking engagements, and I would just say that if anybody's interested in helping these kids, whether it's to adopt them or work with them, they need it, and it's one of the most rewarding things in the world. And just don't believe everything you hear about Children's Aid, because these kids might sound like a lot on paper, but really they're just kids, and they just want someone to love them.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you for your time.
No problem. If you guys have more questions, call me back. I hope I've answered everything the way you were hoping for.
Yes. Everybody?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so we all say
Okay.
thank you to you so much for your
Perfect.
time, and
Thank you.
we appreciate your help.
Thank you,
All right,
Jessica.
you're welcome.
Jessica.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You
You
too.
too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.